Hello YouTube, this is my first video coming to you from Ohio, so as always I'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, because I'm going to have a number of videos coming out with some good information. I'm going to do my part to get the information out about the short squeezes, namely AMC, which is the one that I'm most interested in. And I'm going to start with a little bit of background on me. As always, this is not a financial advice video, even though I at one point had a Series 6 license. I worked for a company called First Investors, which was acquired by another company called, I think, Forrester or something. Anyways, I did not keep my Series 6 license. You have to do a certain number, you have to do ongoing testing and pay yearly fees, and so there are certain requirements that I did not do. So I don't have a investment license to help anybody invest. So take the information I give you just as information, not as investment advice. Now, anybody that tells you that what to do with your money or investment, I mean, you can't. When I learned how to help people invest, you had to get to know a lot about their situation, how much they had to invest, what their goals were, their investment goals, and you sat down with them and discussed things with them. You can't do that over a YouTube video. So anybody that is trying to do that out there is it's just impossible. So anyways, getting back to the situation at hand with AMC, what we seen today was, and I'm doing this at my travel trailer. I don't have a proper setup, backdrop, or anything right now. I'm using a Moza Mini Me gimbal that I'm holding the camera with. That's why it's, as you can tell, it's not shaky. And I'll have a better setup later. But anyways, what we saw today with AMC is, you notice that it got pushed down some with about, I think, 16 million shares being traded. And I was looking at a 10-minute candle, not a 1-minute candle, but 10 minutes, and between 9:30 and 9:40 it got pushed down quite a bit, and then it came back. And then evidently there's still some day traders that are taking profits mid-morning, like 10 to 10:30, because you'll see that happening. Most of us diamond-handed apes, we're not day trading this stock. Apparently some people are. Another thing that we saw was there was a firm called Mudrick, and you probably already heard about this if you've been doing any research and DD, but Mudrick had a deal, and I think this deal started, this was like the end culmination of a deal that started I think some weeks ago. And one of the parts of the deal was they were going to get a certain number of shares. It was 8.5 million shares, and apparently they acquired those shares sometime in the morning, and they sold them at I believe it was 140 to 150 in the afternoon. And you'll see a red candle. There was 14 million shares traded. 8.5 million of them were from Mudrick. The interesting thing is I first looked at some of the news, and I think it was on MarketWatch, which nobody that knows anything follows MarketWatch anymore, because they are owned by Citadel, right? In close cahoots with Citadel, which is one of the hedge funds trying to short AMC. So what I seen first on the first report, and I have not been able to find this since. This has been removed from the internet. I've searched for a while, but the first I looked at this news within 45 minutes of it coming out, and they said that the reason why they sold these shares is because all of a sudden they decided that AMC stock price was overvalued. And that's why they sold, which was a big bunch of FUD put out by, I believe it was MarketWatch that I was looking at. I looked at two or three different news sources, but it was either CNBC or MarketWatch. But anyways, they removed that because I think they were putting words in somebody's mouth, I'm assuming, and they raised heck about it and said, we didn't say that. You need to remove this because, and basically what it said was they, not only that they sold the shares because the value of the stock was overvalued, but they also said they recommended that to any investors to sell their AMC shares. Anybody, uh, the comment was they recommended investors sell their AMC shares. Now, give me a break. What does that sound like to anybody over 5 years old? Bottom line is AMC share price did not start off a good price and not overvalued in the morning, and all of a sudden when it went up a couple of dollars, it's all of a sudden overvalued. That in itself is a big bunch of hogwash and crap. I mean, give me a break. The share price valuation is what it is. It's higher than it was last year. Yeah. And the whole reason why we're doing this is basically because us gorillas, we don't believe in the illegal tactics that the hedge funds have used for decades to run companies out of business just because they want to and they want to make hundreds of billions doing it. I mean, no. We all like AMC. We like movies. Most of us like Adam Aaron and what he's done. Now, he's got a track record of turning companies around, pulling them from the brink of bankruptcy. He's done it before. And him and his team went to work and dug in and buckled down last year when it didn't look good during the pandemic. And they rearranged so many things from their leases, found money, found investors. I mean, they got this company on the track to survive not only last year, but they're not facing the fears of bankruptcy or the possibility of bankruptcy this year and well into next year, 2022. Now, nobody can tell you what the latter part of 22 has to offer or what's going to happen. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody does. Nobody can tell you what the latter part of 2022 or going into 2023 is going to prove. But he's done a phenomenal job. His whole team has done a phenomenal job. Hats off to them. And the whole reason why we're doing this is because it's the right thing to do, in my opinion, and a lot of the gorillas. And basically, if you do enough due diligence research, you'll find out what's going on is, now I'm not really Democrat or Republican at all, and I'm not going to talk politics, but there's somebody that's in a financial treasury of the U.S. government, and the Fed has worked more closely with them than they have worked for decades, and there's been things put in place with BlackRock and other things that they're basically putting a stop to with the DTC rules. And I'm not going to go into all those. You probably looked at some of those, and so have I. But with all the rules they're putting into place, they're backing the hedge funds into a corner because enough's enough. This whole thing that they're doing has a possibility of tanking the U.S. stock market and the economy, and they're trying to make it so that does not. They're trying to lighten the effects of what could happen and looks like is going to happen. But all in all, AMC is going to squeeze. It's a sure bet. Everybody knows it. For all the people on Wall Street have already admitted it's going to squeeze. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. How far it squeezes, nobody knows. And another thing I did, which I'll try to squeeze into this video, is I was skeptical that it could squeeze up to $100,000 a share. And then I did the math on it, and theoretically, in theory, it could. In theory, it could squeeze to $500,000 a share. Now, will it? I don't know. Nobody can tell you really if it was. A lot of things have to come into place and happen in a certain way. But even if it does, My opinion is by the time it gets to $10,000 a share, a lot of the shorts will be covered at that point. And I don't know how these automatic computer systems work that actually make the hedge funds sell shares and do margin calls. But bottom line is, I think probably half of it will be covered by the time it hits $10,000 a share. How much exactly, I don't know. Nobody knows. Really, it's too much that goes into that. But if it goes to $100,000 a share, retail investors aren't going to be buying shares at that point. They're going to already be in their positions, and not everybody is going to be able to sell every one of their shares at $100,000 or $500,000 a share. It's just not probably going to happen. Will you be able to sell any at that if you choose to sell? Maybe, but this is all speculation. So bottom line is, this is the biggest thing happening on Wall Street in our lifetimes. So stay tuned, and I wish the best for everybody. So please like, subscribe. I'm going to have a lot more information on a lot of different subjects coming up. So hope you like this video, and see you on the next one.